Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to present you my Mini-ITX gaming build for December 2014. It's a gaming build at the price of $1,700 US. Let's get rid of the boxes and see if we can take a look at the computer itself. As I've said, it's a Mini-ITX PC. It's built in a Corsair Obsidian 250D Mini-ITX case. The thing pointing up in the air is the very powerful and very fast Wi-Fi antenna assembly, which is included in the motherboard. It's a Asus Z97i Plus motherboard with an Intel C97 chipset. I'm rocking a EVGA graphics cards and a Noctua CPU cooling assembly. I'm rocking a Samsung SSD and Evo 840 250 GB SSD from Samsung, and this is my Noctua cooler assembly. I'm rocking a power supply by SeaSonic and RAM from G.Skill. I have 8 GB of RAM in this computer. I'm using 2133 MHz memory. I'm using a LG BluRay combo drive, which can read Blu-ray and write DVDs and CDs, rewritable. I'm using 2 AF120 fans for exhaust and an AF140 fan for intake. My exhaust fans are white LED. This is the back plane of the motherboard. It has everything you need of USB 2.0, USB 3.0, and a very nice sound card built in with Japanese capacitors. This is the Noctua NH-L12 cooling assembly, and there is an issue with that cooling assembly on this motherboard, but I have addressed it. This is my CPU. As I said before, it's an Intel i5 4690K Haswell refresh running at 3.5 GHz stock to 3.9 GHz boost and 4.4 GHz overclock in the system. Now we are getting to the cooling assembly issue. The bottom fan you see in the cooling assembly is 92mm, and it's too large for this motherboard. It is either touching the RAM or either touching the cooling shroud on the motherboard, and therefore you have to buy 80mm. You see it right here in the box, 80mm Noctua fan, and mount on the bottom instead of the 92mm. It costs about 15 to 18 US dollars, that fan, and that is included in the price. It is only the computer you get for this price. It is not included anything else. Here you see the graphics cards and how the design is, the color scheme of the motherboard and the color scheme of the chipset and the graphics card. It's a GTX 770 graphics cards from EVGA, and I've chosen the 4 GB version. So it's 4 GB DDR5 RAM. You can see it on the back side of the graphics card here. The 2 GB version does not have RAM chips on the back side, and the RAM is actually running at 7000 GHz. As you can see, there's not much room, but there's actually room for everything you need. This is the graphics card itself. It's a superclocked graphics card, GTX 770 superclocked from EVGA with ACX cooling. It's very great integrated cooling on this graphics card. It can really cool the graphics card down in most situations. You need at least 600 watts power supply to run this graphics card and high TPD output from the power supply, but I've chosen a SeaSonic 650 watts power supply, which has a high TPD, so I can run this system you see here. Let's close it up and take a look at what we can run with this system. Here I have connected a standard BenQ 22-inch Full HD monitor. Here I'm watching some video, and it is a Red Bull competition, and this guy on his Yamaha is really rocking it. Yeah. It's a 60 Hz monitor, and the computer is actually NVIDIA G-Sync compatible. So in the future you can buy I would recommend a Full HD G-Sync monitor and not any higher resolution than that, because then you get the most smooth graphics possible out of this system. It can run up to 1440p though, but I wouldn't recommend it. This is Unity in Heaven running very smoothly with these custom settings. I'm using 4x and full tessellation, and it's not getting any lower than 21 frames per second, an average of 30 frames per second, which is very nice to look at. The memory is only going up to half its maximum speed here, but that's something the graphic card decides itself when you want to go all the way up to 7000 megahertz on the memory. Here we have a 3D game. It's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 from 2009, and it's a really good, very entertaining game still, even though it's from 2009. It's a great game. So I'm very entertained when I play this. Games run very smoothly on this. I'm running Grid 2 and Far Cry 3 and this and other games in that genre, 2D games, all of them. And it's a very good graphics card. It's a very good system. I have 8 GB of G.Skill memory in this system, and it's 2133 MHz memory working. Please note that if you want to upgrade to 16 GB memory on this system, which is not really needed for computer games, but if you want to, you can do that with this motherboard, and you can actually run memory, DDR3 memory with up to about 3000 MHz in this particular motherboard. But I would not recommend RAM with any higher megahertz than 2133 on the i5 CPU, but you can put an i7 CPU in this motherboard, and you don't need that for gaming, I'd say, but this hash rate refresh CPU 4690K is really great for gaming, as you can see. It just runs as it should. It's nice and smooth to load. I'm using a Samsung Evo 8 4 250 GB SSD and a 1 TB Seagate hard drive for additional storage. There are 4 6 Gb connectors, SATA connectors on this motherboard, and I'm using 3 of them currently. One for the optical drive, one for the hard disk drive, and one for the SSD. So I have one in spare, and I can actually have one SSD in the hard drive case of this case, so I can put an extra SSD in it if I want to. Here you see my SeaSonic power supply. I've connected a lot of USB devices, actually very utilitarian USB devices like USB 3.0 hard disk drive and 3 sound devices and a MIDI controller. I'm a DJ and a drummer, semi-professional, so I have my own equipment, as you see here, connected. This computer runs just beautifully, and audio programs, it can run them very easily. Please note, if you want to use this computer as a workstation, you can do so, but I would say as a light workstation. You can do some Photoshop, you can do some video editing, and you can do some sound programs and like that. But I wouldn't go up in designing big posters and doing 4K video on this system, because simply you would need the i7 CPU then, and you would need 16 GB of memory, and at least, and maybe even a more powerful graphics card like a 780 Ti. But that would make the system a lot more expensive than those $1,700 US, which resembles actually 10,500 Danish kroner and 6,000 zloty. Thank you very much, and thank you all for watching my video. Bye. Michael Hansen signing out. Krakow, Poland.